follow your interests and your curiosity. It will lead you to new learning. So don't stay in the comfort zone. Always stretch and learn.
This podcast encourages and empowers you to create your own unique real story, develop your own unique real statement, and discover your own unique real self. The power is yours. Good afternoon, Halelly Azulay. Previously, episode 488 on the 12-Minute Convos podcast. Then we connected in 2018 for episode 234 when we met face to face. That was then. This is now. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great. How are you, Angel?
I'm excellent, my friend. Again, it's a great pleasure to connect with you. Meeting you face to face only just solidified the voice behind the conversation we had way back in 2016. So, just to update our amazing audience, what's going on? What's the latest?
Let's see. Launched my first online course. I'm about to roll out the second cohort of it in partnership with my mentor, Elaine Beek. And that was something that I had wanted to do for years and just not moving or being hesitant or unsure. So that was a major accomplishment for me this year.
Oh, sweet. Now tell us about the online course. Come on, give us more details, please.
All right. Well, for a long time, I wanted to have an online course. And because I am blessed or cursed with multiple interests and multiple networks, this particular course actually is targeted at people who want to start a consulting business, especially people in my industry in the training, learning, and development world. A lot of people want to start a business and come to me for mentoring. How did you get started? How do I price? How do I find clients? So many people just don't know how to do it. So this is a course with Elaine Beek, who has been doing it for many years. And together we both mentored hundreds of people. And we decided, let's just help people in a more organized way, how to build a consulting practice, how to grow it, especially if you're in this world of, talent development, learning, training, but really for anyone who wants to be a consultant.
So this is under TalentGrow, yeah? This is still under TalentGrow.
Yeah, it's still under TalentGrow. The course is called Building Your Successful Training Consulting Business. That's a lot of words.
Yeah. Well, it still speaks to the teacher side of you because
yeah, exactly.
Which is important, yeah?
Yeah.
So how's that been going? So there's the course. I know many teachers are asked how are they teaching, but how have you been evolving from the learning perspective?
Tell me more about what you mean.
Yeah, sure. So many teachers learn traditionally. However, the times are changing.
Yes.
While you've implemented the online course, it shows a bit of an indication that the way you are learning is also evolving.
Yeah, I'm a lifelong learner. I love learning. And I always say if I could figure out a way to just pay my bills by learning, that would be my ideal career. So I think what I found for myself is pretty close second. And I'm always learning all the time by reading. I listen to podcasts. I do take online courses. I take face-to-face courses. I learn from webinars. I'm just always talking to people, networking. I learn so much that way. So I think that all of us are always learning and we should be open to learning in multiple ways. But I do think that this idea of learning through an online course is something that for a while, a lot of people were hesitant about. And now it's becoming, I feel like it's becoming much more accepted and many more people are joining they're not the early adopters anymore. Lots of people are just joining the bandwagon and it's not going away. It's only going to be more and more of that.
I think what's really cool as well is the way you learn. It feels like a homeschool model. So again, traveling to Japan is part of that process where you get up and you say, okay, we're going over there. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, everything you do can be a learning experience. One of the things I teach about, and I talk about in my book, actually, in Employee Development on a Shoestring, where you don't have to have an official program for you to learn something, but what you do need to do is be strategic and proactive and goal-driven about your learning. So there's learning that happens sort of drive-by or coincidence or, serendipity, but there can be and should be also proactive learning. So if you think for yourself, like, what's something I want to develop? What's a goal that I want to work on? When you set that goal, then you can think about, well, what's the best way for me to learn it? Because I can take into consideration, how do I learn best? What's my constraints? What's my budget? How much time can I devote to it? Right. So once you think about it from that perspective, start with the end in mind. What do I want to learn? And then think about what are the best ways to learn that. Then you can be more likely to find ways, both in terms of specific, proactive, intentional learning efforts, but also even in the in-between moments and the serendipity, it can serve you things that fit that need, that meet that goal more likely because you've got a goal rather than just floating in the wind like a leaf.
And I've floated before. It's not a good place to be, you know. It's a good place to have been, but it's just not a good place to permanently be. Everyone looks for something that aligns with their focus over time.
Yeah.
Which brings me to the test of this question. So how are your children evolving in their learning as a result of what I know more is caught than taught with children, right? So how are they evolving?
Well, my children this summer turned 22 and 18.
Oh my.
So they are done with their official schooling, and they were really never the traditional student type, neither one of them, which is shocking given that they were born to two entrepreneurial, nonconformist parents. They don't just sort of toe the line and fall into place and, good little soldiers. So it's definitely been a challenge to help them learn. But what I did notice along their entire journey, and I believe this very much, is that all of us have certain things that, we're motivated to learn as humans. But different people learn in different ways and also have different motivations. So you could see for them where if there was something that they were interested in, they worked so hard at pursuing learning it. And they didn't need anybody to give them a program or to tell them to do it. But when there was something that wasn't very motivating or they couldn't connect to it, then, it's like pulling teeth. So my older son is an artist. He is a graphic designer and also a musician, and he is constantly developing himself on his own, pursuing a career that's non-traditional right now, mostly freelancing. And my younger son, since he was 7 and picked up a skateboard, has been absolutely single-mindedly interested in skateboarding, which is definitely not an academic topic. But he's got tenacity and persevering out the wazoo. And so he wants to be a professional skateboarder, and he's excellent at it, and we're supporting him. So that's what he's pursuing right now.
That's good. And your husband, I think in these conversations, we don't highlight the support that goes with the spouse for all that we're doing. How's he doing?
Well, my spouse, David, is extremely supportive, both of mine and our kids' learning. He is also non-traditional in many ways and taught himself the things that interested him, and has been very successful in his career and did not follow any kind of a prescribed path. Developed his business and very successfully grew it over the years, just through trial and error and following his intuition in the music industry. And he's producing, and now he's starting a new venture too on the side, kind of a side hustle, and we'll see where this takes him. But he's excited, very excited about it, because it's an idea that he had, and now he's working on making it come to fruition. So we'll wait and see how that works.
That's wonderful. Well, I think with a spouse partnership like you both had, or have, my apologies, getting to see both of you live in Echo Park. It was Echo Park in LA.
Yes.
You both seem to be super amazing. Again, Halelly, this is such a grand pleasure. Before we leave, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
Well, I would say follow your interests and your curiosity. It will lead you to new learning, and learning is what life is all about. So don't be complacent. Don't stay in the comfort zone. Always stretch and learn.
Halelly Azulay, again, such a great pleasure. A pleasure I treasure. Thank you for being on what is inspired by 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones. This podcast is produced by Pod Edits. Visit podedits.com for professional podcast publishing.